Hello, my vivacious Virgo, and welcome to your love reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you haven't had a chance to check out your other readings on my channel, please do so. I do want to apologize. I have a little bit of a sinus infection here, so I know I look bad and I sound awful. So please just try to bear with me here, okay? But we're going to go ahead and get your love bonus out there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe notification bell, like, comment, share, all that great stuff. I do plan to put up weekly readings for your Christmas time, as well as I do hope to put up moon readings. So keep those in mind, and don't forget that notification bell so that you can certainly make sure you are notified when those go up, okay? So without further ado, let's get in here and see what your love life is gonna be looking like here. This first row, and if you can't see it, we're gonna go through it bit by bit, so don't worry. First row is indicative of kind of where you are now or what you're in. Do remember time is fluid in tarot, so you may be already partially in this, or it may be still to come. The second row is kind of what you have coming, so within the next month, 2 months, maybe beginning of the year, maybe even by the end of the year, depending on where you're at. Third row is kind of spirit's advice to you, and I use spirit in a generic collective term, so it's kind of whatever you believe in, your higher divination, you know, communion of saints, the universe, whatever you believe in, but for this purpose, we'll say spirit. So right here we have the Magician as your first card, and I think for many of you, what this is saying is that right now you're having to pull rabbits out of your hat. Ultimately, you're pulling out all the stops, all the tricks, right? You're having to be a jack of all trades, okay? And I think for a lot of you, this is because, number one, it's just that time of year, right? Where you are multitasking yourself into submission. You know, you're having to take care of everybody and everything, extra family on top of your normal family duties, probably. But also, I think a lot of it is, for those of you who are either in a relationship, have a new relationship, looking for a relationship, doesn't really matter. This is a specific time, holiday seasons. So whether you're celebrating, you know, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever it is your, you know, specific holiday, you know, it puts a lot of stress on those of us who are in a relationship to find one, you know, because we don't want to be alone at this time. Those of us who are in a relationship, we're strained. We're trying to, you know, it's that, if it's a new relationship, we're trying to navigate, right? Okay, what are we doing with gifts? You know, it's the first time we're exchanging gifts, you know, or, you know, if it's a long-term relationship, you're like, oh God, here we go dealing with the in-laws or what have you, right? So we're really having to use everything at our disposal, all of our tricks of the trade. And it's very trying on us right now. So I know a lot of you are exhausted, but I do think that for many of you, this is where you shine, okay? And I see this because here I see the Empress card, and the Empress card is very much a maternal, paternal type figure. It's a figure that is very nurturing. They love to nurture and, you know, provide for those around them, you know, be that central focus, be the one that's bringing the family together, or, you know, bringing the gifts together, or the parties together, or the, you know, charities together, or the church together, or whatever, right? And really enjoy watching the fruits of their labor. So I think you are definitely going to enjoy this if you're not already. You know, a lot of it is the build up to it, and you're like, I'm so exhausted. But then I think you are going to be able to sit back and really, really enjoy it if you aren't already, okay? So that's good news. Then we have the moon, okay? The moon does give me some kind of situation here where I feel like there's some confusion, some kind of question of direction, right? So for some of you, you know, you may have a mindset or a thought in mind relationship-wise of like, again, for some of you, this may be a first holiday with somebody, or you may be trying to kind of navigate the waters with a friend and hoping that maybe it'll be more. There may be some of you who have a preconceived notion of what you want to happen by the end of the year with your relationship, those kinds of things. And I do feel like for some of you, it's going to kind of leave you in the dark here to some extent. You're going to be kind of shrouded in ambiguity, because you're going to feel like, you know what, it didn't happen the way I wanted it to, or exactly what I wanted to happen didn't happen, or things just didn't go exactly what you kind of build up in your mind. So for those of you who that happens to, I think just keep remembering, you know, that just because it doesn't happen in your specific time, just because it doesn't happen the way you kind of imagine it, doesn't mean it's not going to happen, and it's not going to happen even better than what you imagined, okay? So just keep that in mind. But I do think for some of you, there might be some questions, you know, like, why didn't this happen? Or why did this go down like this? Or, you know, so I think, you know, what I would say to you is try not to get too bogged down in an idealistic view of any relationship right now, okay? Whether you're in one, whether you're starting one, whether you want one, try not to idealize any relationship right now, because it could put you in a place where you're so focused on it has to be a certain way that if it's not, you disappoint yourself, right? Even when it's not a really disappointing thing, you know, if it's not what you want, then it's disappointing, right? So let's see where we're going though. That's very important. We have the High Priestess, okay? And that's falling below your Magician card. So I do feel like you are having some, you know, some decisions here, and there is some conflict of, you know, maybe even a conflict of, you know, kind of morality in situations. Not necessarily morality as much as, you know, kind of a spiritual conflict, for example, you know, with that. And it could be maybe the person that you are with is of a different, you know, religious background. So how do we spend it? Do we spend it with Hanukkah? Do we spend it with Christmas this time of year? You know, or how's this going to work with our family times? You know, it could be, it's just making a choices. Okay. I feel like you're going to have to make some choices. And I especially feel like because this is coming on the heels of where you're kind of like, this wasn't what I envisioned. This isn't how I thought it would go down. Okay. Maybe that person was more into the family than you thought, right? So, you know, maybe they are more attached to their family. You kind of thought you were going to have the run of the show. You know, this is my new boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I'm going to have them with me and my family. This is going to be my holiday. I run the show, blah, 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 you know, that kind of thing. I'll take care of everything. And, you know, boom, they're a lot closer to their family than you thought. And they're like, no, we do all of these traditions. We have all of this stuff. So you're going to have to get in where you fit in. And so I think that might be some confusion for you. You're kind of like, whoa, hold up. This is not what I expected at all. Are we going to be able to work this out even? You know, and you might have to kind of make some decisions. You know, they're kind of spiritual, deep seated decisions, right? So just keep that in mind, you know, think about that ahead of time if there is a complexity to the relationship there in that regard. The next thing here we have is the Four of Pentacles, and this is telling you hold tight to your funds, and it's right below your Empress card, right? So for those of you who love to be givers and nurturers, and this is your time to shine, right? This is when you really go out and you love to throw the parties and the big dinners and the family time and everything, you know, perfect gifts, perfect wrapping paper, perfect everything, you know, everything has to be perfect. That's wonderful. But do remember that, you know, if you're using credit cards, if you're pulling from savings, this and that you might come into a point where later on down the road, if you've kind of dug yourself in a little bit of a hole, you may be kind of in trouble, right? An unexpected expense comes up, boom, you know, you've really enjoyed Christmas, you've really enjoyed, or Hanukkah or whatever, you've really enjoyed sitting back and watching everybody enjoy your spending, your efforts, your expenses, your costs, but then you're struggling, right? Later on, you're struggling to pay those bills, you know, an unexpected expense comes up. You're like, crap, I don't have any money left, right? So I think this is like kind of, you need to kind of hold back, right? Hold back some funds, because I do see that there's going to be a point where you're going to kind of have to, I'm going to have to start cutting back, right? So all I could say to you is if you are in this throw right here at the top row where you are really catching yourself going overboard a little bit right now with, okay, I'm seeing my credit cards creeping up there. I'm seeing things going a little bit haywire. Maybe just scale it back just a bit. You can have just as much fun. You know, it's with the thought that counts, all that good stuff. You know, all the old adages, right, that we've heard a million times, because you don't want to have to get to the point where you have to be so tightened down on the financial straps later on that, you know, it almost makes it not worth it, you know? So just keep that in mind. But I do see the Ace of Cups here, okay? And that's below your Moon card. So I do feel like while there is going to be some, you know, I don't want to say disappointment. I think more confusion or question is the situation here with your relationship. More like, is this person really as into me as I thought? Or is this really what I wanted for Christmas or our holiday to work out? Is this how I saw this going? Because I think, again, some of you have such a preconceived notion. And again, this could be something where you've been in a lot, you know, you're married to this person for 30 years, but all of a sudden, you know, you're thinking, you know, I thought this would be the year, you know, that they would really, really come through for me. And you're just so disappointed, and you're kind of like, why? Why? You know, and you're really upset or concerned or just why, you know? This, I think, again, I feel like you are really going to, you know, come through this with really Ace of Cups energy. I think that's a temporary setback. Things might not fall into place exactly how you wanted right then, but I think that you are going to come out much better off, right? You are going to come out with that great Ace of Cups energy. The relationship is going to be fantastic, but it may take some choices on your part, right? And I think the thing too is that I think, you know, this part could be that the other person is, by being frugal, by helping you to be more frugal, it kind of frees you up. And maybe that's what you have to understand, right? You're kind of like, well, I holding tight to money. Maybe this is their frugality, right? And you're thinking, why wouldn't they do this? Why wouldn't they buy the ring at this time? Why didn't they, you know, I thought this was the year they were going to get us a new car. I thought this was the year they were going to buy the ring. I thought this was the year that we were going to do something major, plan a huge vacation, whatever it may be. And they just didn't. And you're really disappointed, right? But I think that they're going to come through for you, because what they were doing was saving for something that matters, right? To show you how important you really are. So I think really and truly by the end of, you know, a month, 2 months, whatever, you are going to be thrilled. It's going to make your relationship stronger than ever before. I really feel like that's coming for you. Okay. So whatever relationship status you're at, I do think you're moving in a positive direction. Do I think you're going to get there? The exact mindset and pattern and path that you have envisioned in your mind? Not exactly, but I do think it's going to work for you. Okay. So what does Spirit, generically speaking, for the collective, have to say to you for advice? And the first card here we have is the Knight of Swords in reverse. So what I see here is, you know, the Knight of Swords is a fast moving, kind of rolling in, high speed, doing his thing. And I think what Spirit's telling you here is you need to slow down. Okay. Again, not just with the money, not just with using all of your tricks at your disposal, not just with balancing everything and trying to take care of everything and putting everything on your shoulders. But also with, you know, expectations, with making decisions, everything. You kind of just need to slow down, okay? Slow down and enjoy it. Slow down and take it in. Slow down and don't overstress yourself, overtax yourself. Enjoy the relationship, enjoy the time, enjoy the people around you. And again, this relationship that I'm speaking of doesn't necessarily even have to be a romantic one. It could be even with your family, with your kids, whatever. You may be missing out on a lot of time with people that you really enjoy because you're just so focused on making everything perfect. I know I'm guilty of that. I try so hard to make everything so perfect for everybody at Christmas. And then when it's over, it's like, I hardly remember spending time with these people that I tried everything to be so perfect for, right? Because I was so focused on, you know, compartmentalizing what I was doing. It's kind of like when we look at our cell phone and we live our life through it, we're not actually present in the moment, right? We're too busy, you know, watching it through a cell phone. And then we watch the videos later and we're like, wow, I don't even remember that happening, right? So I think this is Spirit's reminder. Slow down. Do not charge in. Do not do all these things. Kind of enjoy yourself, right? The next one we have is the King of Cups, and it's in reverse. So again, I do think that, you know, for you, they are saying, you know, you do not need to jump into a relationship so headstrong, so head fast that you are like, this person needs to be the center of my world, the center of attention. They need to be doing everything I need them to do immediately, right now, as I need it, on the dot. You know, everything needs to be the way I have it seen. Because I think what they're telling you, what they're reminding you of is these preconceived notions of this relationship will put you in a place where you are letting yourself down. You know, if you have an expectation that's so high, nobody can reach that. And then, you know, you're creating that kind of sadness, that disappointment, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of reasons that people can't necessarily meet that or don't necessarily feel it's time for that. And, you know, it takes more than one person to make that relationship work, right? So I do think this is Spirit saying this person could very well be your King of Cups, right? Very much so. But, you know, give them a break. Slow it back, right? sit on your Empress chair, watch those around you, chill, enjoy what you have. Don't put so much pressure on everything to be so perfect and this person to do exactly what you want in your way at your time, because if you do, you're inevitably going to either scare them away or you're going to be really disappointed that it didn't fall in your way. And you may end up leaving something, when you have to make this choice, you may end up leaving something before you even get to find out how great it can be, just because you had some silly, preconceived notion set up in your head that it doesn't really matter. You don't have to keep up with anybody else. You don't even have to keep up with what your idea timeline is, right? I have to be married by this age. I have to do this by this age. A lot of us get caught in that specific time frame, and especially around holidays when people are getting engaged, getting married, doing, but just don't fall into that trap. I really, truly think that that's what Spirit's saying here. And if you don't, we have the Three of Cups, which is like a celebration card. And again, like I'm saying, this is falling right under your Ace of Cups, okay? So I do think that Spirit is telling you that, if you just let this kind of be mysterious, just kind of let it go. You may be confused. Confused is fine, but don't make any decisions to cast someone aside or, not try to understand, because again, you may not be trying to understand because they're holding tight to their pentacles, right? Why didn't they do something huge for me this time? Why, this is the last straw. Why didn't they, propose with a huge ring this time? Last straw, or why didn't they, I thought we were going to exchange gifts for the first time this time, and maybe they just didn't know that that's what you wanted to do yet. And so they were a little confused. Talk about it, communicate. It doesn't mean that, they were being super cheap. They may come through perfectly. But again, don't let a miscommunication or your expectations that you had set up in your head, any of that cause you to push away or make a bad choice about somebody that could be the perfect person for you, your Ace of Cups, right? Because if you don't, this could end in complete celebration, joy, happiness, excitement, all of these great things, because this could very well be your King of Cups. But you do not want to push them away, because right here in reverse, that Spirit's telling you, look, they're gonna jump if you don't, push them away yourself. If you keep putting, unrealistic expectations on them, or, expecting them to read your mind or what have you, right? So just kind of keep that in mind, all right? So let's pull 3 love cards here and see if that gives us any other clarification. But I do think you definitely have the all the ingredients to make a wonderful, exciting, happy new year, to celebrate with this person, whomever it may be you're with, starting to be with, trying to be with, any of that, been with, to get even better, even move forward with. But you're going to have to kind of let it ride. Just go with the flow a little bit more, okay? And the first one is retreat, okay? So again, I think this is what it's saying, you need to kind of back off, relax, just spend time with enjoying them, right? Just however it is, however it stands. If they don't want to exchange gifts, or they didn't buy you something and you bought them something, who cares? Okay, if they want to spend time with their family and you were expecting to spend time with your family, who cares, right? You can talk about it, work it out, but talk about it, but spend time together while you're doing it. Enjoy whatever time you can together. And if you feel like you need to do your family and they need to do their family, don't look at that as, oh my gosh, that means we're never going to be able to work this out. That's not true. If it's new to you, you can always figure a way to work it out later, but enjoy the time that you are together. Just make sure you make time together, okay? Maybe it's just for the two of you to retreat, right? Okay, and that's what Spirit's trying to tell you, I think. And this one says, give your relationship a chance. And I don't know how you could be any plainer in this row, where Spirit's saying, look, give them a chance or they're going to run. Do not shove them away, right? Do not push this person away because they didn't fit into your unrealistic expectation, or do exactly what you kind of wanted in your mindset, or you just don't think it's going to work because they're doing their thing. There's always a way to communicate and try to make things work out, if you're willing to both give, right? You have to both bend. So give it a chance. Both of you give it a chance, especially if it's something new, okay? And this one says, calling in your soulmate. And again, I feel like this is what Spirit's told you all along. This is Ace of Cups energy, okay? This is celebration, you know, cooperation and celebration energy. Like, you know, next year could be the year for real movement forward, real breakthrough, real happy times together. But you have to work at it. You have to want it to happen, and you have to not shove them away or decide, nope, not going to work, cut them off before they even get a chance to make an effort, right? So definitely, you know, kind of keep that in mind, right? So let's pull 3 of these cards. Excuse me. And this is kind of either your energy or your person that you're thinking of's energy, even if this is a person you're just hoping you can spend the holidays with. But it's kind of, you know, hopefully a thought process of what maybe they're thinking, to kind of clarify some things for you maybe. So focused on money. I'm currently focusing on my career and finances. My main priority is financial stability. And this could very well explain. This is falling on your making choices. And this can very well explain why there's a 4 of Pentacles there. You know, they're holding tight to their finances. Maybe that's why they didn't, you know, pop the question and buy a big ring this year. Maybe that's why, if it's your significant other or somebody you're already really involved in, didn't, you know, buy the home, buy the car, do whatever. You know, maybe this is why somebody that's, you know, they're saving up for something bigger, better for you down the road, right? For you, right? So just don't get something so focused that, oh, they just didn't care. They don't care about me. That may not be it at all. Maybe they're so focused on their finances because they want to make a better, I want to make myself more financially stable so I can be a better financial provider for you. Think about that. That could be what they're thinking in the long run before you start going, well, they don't care. They don't care. Bye. And cutting them off, right? My dreams. I've been dreaming about you in my dreams. We are so free and in love. Wish I could stay there forever. And again, I do think this is saying give your love a chance, right? I think that, you know, both of you are kind of feeling that feeling. So even if this is somebody who is new to you and you're hoping this could work out, I think you both have that same feeling for each other. So again, I think it's just a matter of communication, resolution. If you have some, you know, belief differences, time differences, financial differences that you need to work through, that's fine. But I do feel like you both feel like you want this to happen. So I do think the core situation is there, and all the ingredients are there, right? And then this one says, I'm leaving. I'm ready to leave a situation or mindset that has not served me and hindered my growth. And again, I think for you, this is directly at you because it's right below your moon, okay? Where you're confused. You're like in a conundrum here, but you find your Ace of Cups, you find your soulmate, you find your 3 of Cups. And I think it's because you're saying, you know what? I am going to leave the situation where I feel like if things are a certain way, then I can't have it, right? You're going to make that decision over here, you know, to be more kind of relaxed, be more accepting, be more kind of go with the flow. And I think, you know, that you realize is what's hindered you in a lot of ways, that you have been so rigid sometimes, you know, with expectations that maybe you haven't been able to kind of allow people to show you what they'll do for you, what they can do for you, because it didn't fall in your time frame, didn't fall in your, you know, perfect plans. But I do feel like this person does want to make things great for you. I feel like they are trying to do that. And I feel like their focus on money is because they want to be stable themselves so that they can provide better for you, which is all a good thing, but you have to allow them to explain that, show you that. You can't just write them off because you feel like they just didn't do exactly what you wanted them to do or get you what you wanted them to get you, or, you know, and I don't mean that in a very, you know, gold digging type sense at all. I mean that, you know, in a way like get you what you wanted as far as like considering you, you know, or, you know, moving forward with a relationship type situation. But I do feel like when you're seeing this, you're leaving that mindset. It's saying you're leaving a mindset. It's not saying you're leaving the relationship. It's saying you're leaving a mindset. And I do think that you are going to leave that mindset. You're going to leave that behind, the confusion of always being like, if they don't follow through with exactly what I think, then they don't care about me mindset. because I do think you are going to start realizing that when you communicate, you find out the reasons that people do things, and a lot of times it is for you. You just may have to do it in their time a little bit more, okay? Because I do think this is soulmate material. I think this is going to be long-term celebrations and situations. So I think it's going to be all positive, positive, positive relationship for you. Do I think that right off the bat it's going to come through exactly how you want it to? No. I don't think they're going to hit every mark, time frame on your schedule that you want exactly up front, but I think it's all going to definitely work out if you change your mindset, chill out, calm down, and just enjoy the ride with them. You will really, really enjoy it, okay? Hopefully this works out for you. Hopefully you will have a great holiday. Do join me back for your Christmas readings and your moon readings, and I hope to see you back soon. Bye.